attention. We're going to proceed with the meeting. It's possible some more people may be struggling, so I know a couple people said they may be late. So just before we begin, we're trying a couple of new things with this meeting. I'm going to have some documents up on the screen. I also gave you hard copies, and it may be difficult to see things from the back of the room. We are also, with Rashid's help, we do have a live stream going, so federations who cannot attend that want to play back the meeting on demand, they'll have the opportunity to do so. So just be aware he is recording. In case you make comments, just be aware. I don't know if there's anyone has objections about that, but just be aware he is recording the meeting. And if you do speak with comments, just try and speak up so this phone there can pick up, voice comments. And it would also help if we don't have a lot of background noise in the room, so people who watch remotely can hear as well. Okay, I did took a roll call. Who is here? We have Eric Strange from ACF. I am a member of ICHF as well. We have Philip Greta from Czechia? Czech Republic, okay. I wasn't sure which one they preferred. BDA is here. Some members there. Ukraine is represented, in Germany, and the Scottish Drafts Association. So that is a quorum. That's 7 members, and there's actually, I think, Carlo's on his way, so he'll represent FID. So I will, there are 2 apologies for absence. Alex Moisiev went to Aquileia to Site C, but he may still be here, but he may not get here till 6, we'll have to see. And Carlo Bordini extended an apology of lateness. He is on his way. They had no problem at work, but he's probably on a bus coming here, so he may be here any minute. So a couple more are coming. Okay, so I will open the meeting at 7:14. Next thing on the agenda is the minutes of the General Assembly of 2024. I meant to put those in your packet, but I will put it on the screen because there was a lot going on in that meeting. So we have to review the minutes of the previous General Assembly. The meeting was opened in 1943. The minutes from the previous meeting were approved. We discussed the start times in Germany were a little tight, and we had some problems with overrun games. And we agreed going forward to try and put more time between the rounds. So this year we actually have 6 hours between rounds, and that seems to be working better. Went over the Secretary's report, Treasurer's report, President's report were all distributed or read. Some resolutions I'll scroll down to see in a moment here. And the proposals. Every 2 years we have elections of officers, and Donald Oliphant made a motion to re-elect all 6 officers, and that passed. We reviewed the 2020 World Cup winners, and let's see, we gave an update on ICHF because we had just lost Charles Walker at the time of last meeting. So we gave him a little moment of silence. We had Carlo Bordini and Jacek Belitsky of the FMJD here. They both addressed the assembly. Let's see. We had some voting issues last year. There was one to change the rule for bye from 4 points to 3 points. That motion carried. That was a statute change. It took 2/3 of majority, so that carried. We had a new motion to limit nominations to no more than 2 organizations for players into the WCDF event, so that motion carried. We had a motion to raise WCDF affiliation to €150. That motion failed. And then we had a number of other topics as well. Let's We had some discussion about, we had a regulation issue from Turkey that we discussed at length last year with the youth, so but I guess the motion did not carry. We had another change to our regulations this year, that when we recognize highest girl or highest boy, as the case may be, that you have to have at least 3 girls or 3 boys in order to make the title have some meaning to it. That motion did carry, so that's now in our regulations for this tournament, as well as this would be a statute change. We also implemented more permanent time controls, because we've just been doing regulations over year after year, so we now have 45 minutes with 20-second increments are now the new time controls for our statutes. And we also eliminated the requirement or the rule, if you're under 3 minutes, you don't have to record. That rule was removed, so now everyone has to record under 3 minutes. That came from the Korbach, Germany General Assembly. Another important addition, Igor Martinov made a motion to nominate Nadia Chichevska as a new executive member called Players Representative, and that motion carried. And then we had the discussion about, we currently have tie-break criteria of head-to-head, and then Sonneborn Burger, and then playoffs. There's some discussion about rearranging that sequence and starting with playoffs, but that could be very complicated because sometimes you have more than 2 people tied, and that really needs a more detailed proposal, so that was just tabled for the moment, but it could come back someday as a written proposal. So those were the minutes I have for 2024. Does anyone, a lot of you were here, does anyone have any corrections or motion to approve?
I would like to state that I've been asked to raise the question on the Igor Martinov proposed WCDF at a 7th Executive Committee version, because the WCDF Constitution didn't allow for that to take place, I believe. And I would like the WCDF to re-look at the Constitution to see if that was a legal proposal and motion.
I mean, technically, proposals are supposed to be submitted 1 month in advance, so that was one issue I had with it. This was something slipped in at the end of a meeting, and it's complicated. So.
I understand it is that the Constitution doesn't have that position.
Oh yeah.
So if there's no position in the Constitution, how can we vote for that position? So the whole vote was
we never had a vote on
illegal maneuver.
Yes. Well, we never had a vote on it. So.
Well, we did. It voted 8-4. It was carried.
I'm sorry.
The second paragraph carried 8-4. There was a vote. and the vote was, I've been asked to clarify, was the proposal accepted legally, and was the vote carried out legally as per the Constitution of the WCDF?
Which topic are we on? Sorry, are we talking about the
The
playoffs?
second one up.
Oh.
For Nadia's possession.
Oh, okay.
I've been told that was done illegally, and to ask the question. I won't name which country that I'm asking on behalf of.
Okay.
But I've been asked to.
Okay. You just asked me for a review.
And raise that point.
Okay.
And the other thing that's missing there, I raised at the very end of last year's meeting, that the WCDF should look into organising a computer-run competition on the terms that we had in 2020.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, you're right, I think I remember that.
So that's been missed out.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think they're okay.
Okay. So.
I would propose to accept these minutes, provided the WCDF agree to look at the Constitution's position on that.
Okay.
And add that I mentioned the computer competition.
Okay. Agreed, by me. Any other comments on the minutes? Do we have a second? So, he made a motion to set the minutes, but we'll note to change. WCF will do a constitutional review of the first Igor Martina proposal, and then we'll add language to the minutes that Mr. Oliphant proposed that WCF organize a Zoom tournament.
Or look into the
Or look into it, yeah. Yeah, look into it, thank you, yeah. Let's make sure I have it correct.
Because unless the players want it,
Yeah,
it can't go ahead.
because I've received comments, some people would like to do it again too, so, okay. Okay, anyone?
May I say a few words
Yes.
about the Constitution? I probably write several times and to executive board about that all the changes that we have one by one by assemblies. We have to update our statute, all our documents.
Yes.
Because, for example, I know that it was on the General Assembly last year because I was there. But when I open the website, I cannot see actual current standing, current situation, current statute, and current documents.
Yeah.
And it's very important to
Yeah.
update all these documents
Right.
and make it visible and make access to this document for all people who need it.
Right.
About the second proposition from Danny, it's, if I understand correctly, you want to make some Zoom tournaments or other internet tournaments?
A Zoom tournament where people meet face to face and play with your board visible and you can see your opponent on his board or her board, and we play. We had a competition in 2020 where we had 16 players, and we did it similar to the World Cup football. Richard Beckwith took part, Mosier took part, Scarpetta took part, several Scottish players, some Irish players, and it was a good tournament. And because nobody had to travel, we played weekly.
Yeah,
So it took place over 8-10 weeks.
I remember some tournament, and I understand this idea, but in other kinds of mind games, for example in Go and in chess, there are big problems with cheating. And also with cheating with those tournaments, also with cheating, very big problems. That's why I'm not against to make this tournament, but we have to understand that cheating here, even cheating by internet, is possible, and that's why there should be clear rules and regulations for this tournament against cheating, and I'm asking to try this tournament, but without any official titles.
Yeah.
To try, we will be cheating, we will be not cheating. As for me, it can be.
The first tournament could be organised as a trial basis, But like I said, Richard took part in a tournament that we feel was 100% successful. Nobody thought there was any cheating done because I can see you and your board, I can see your hands, I can see.
I know many variations of cheating, and it's not only all that you see me, that you see my board, you see, for example, my room, and you can hear me. It's not all. Believe me.
Oh,
I can know
I understand.
many variations of cheating. That's why I'm absolutely, I can second it absolutely for trying and for do this, but I'm absolutely also against about official titles. But under the head of WCDF, like journalists, like ability to play, yes.
There's no point in playing if it's not kind of professional. Because then it's friendly. You might as well just contact your friend and say.
Zoom could have its own title.
It has to have a title, it has to be.
Yeah. The possibility of cheating shouldn't restrict trying.
But instead of, some people have paid over €2,000 for their flights here for 4 days play. 5 if they play in the Blitz. 6 days in counting the break day, which seems a bit silly, the break day, but that's by and by. But you can have a competition for free. You can play the top players for free. It's done on a, well, the way we did it, it was a World Cup, so we divided everybody into groups of 4, and the top 2 in each group went through to the next round, while the bottom 2 in each group played each other as well as a playoff. And it worked fantastic. We had an entry fee of £120, which some people did say was a lot of money, but when I explained you've got no other costs, and the prize money was good, all the money raised went back into the competition. It's a brilliant scenario, and I'm so disappointed that 5 years have passed without another competition.
I absolutely, I support this idea to no costs. No money, but we have to understand that technically is excluding cheating is absolutely impossible. We have to understand this.
You can never avoid absolute cheating. The chess world is rife in cheating, to the fact that they're using anal beads now to signal to one another. So let's forget about the cheating. The cheating is just a silly argument that you have to try and fight a spot.
I cannot forget about cheating. Sorry, I cannot. I know situation in chess, I know situation in Go. And for example,
and I
Ukraine.
understand it, and you can't avoid it 100%.
No, it's much more cheating than in real play. Because in the real play,
I know as much, but it's still going on in the face-to-face competition. I think this discussion should be now in the any other business and move forward.
Right, because we're just trying to get minutes approved, so. So just to bring everyone back, so, Danny made a motion to approve the minutes with 2 adjustments. Just a WCF review of this Igor Martinez resolution, and then just for WCF to look into a Zoom tournament, and that will take into account the comments here that, you know, there is, I guess with any kind of online thing, there's a risk of cheating, but it was still fun to have the tournament. It was a very successful tournament, I thought, had some top players in there, but it was more just for fun and prize money. It wasn't like there were WCDF titles, correct, so. Do we have?
It was a Scottish thing.
Well, it was a Scottish thing. Yeah, you're right. But he wanted
It was a
to kick it off.
Scottish initiative.
Exactly. And they did own the tournament, and we thank you for all you did to give us a chance to play. So, do we have a second for, if anyone's, any of the delegates second this motion to accept the minutes so we can move on?
We can second it?
Okay, yeah, thank you, Winna. All in favor with the adjustments I'll add to the document, raise your hand. All in favor? 1, 2, any opposed? Okay, that carried. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Oh, who is this? Okay, I don't have any topics or matters arising. No one else does. That's just more of a placeholder. The next thing, so bring up the secretary's report.
Secretary on discussion.
Actually, the secretary's, or the checker section report should be in your paperwork I gave you. Okay, so just a little background on this. So John Reed was our checker secretary for a long time. It's now, I guess Alex Moisea is our current secretary, but we do prepare just a general checker section report since we're a section of FMJD that we submit to FMJD. They have a general assembly coming. So this is basically just a summary of the events we had past year and look at what's to come. So just so what we did in 2025, we had a World 3-Move Championship match between Sergio Scarpetta of Italy, Malachi Nanakela of South Africa. The match was tied, so Sergio retained the title, and we'll talk more about that match later on and some other issues. We had our World Qualifier Women Youth World Championship in Gorbach, Germany, September a year ago. The winners of each section, Malachi won the qualifier, which is why he played Sergio. And our women's champion was Nadia Chizevska, so we congratulate her for winning last year. And the youth winner was Gemma of Italy. And you can see the top 3 names are there. And then now there is one correction that Nadia Connie brought to my attention. I did not put this on the document, but I'll look at. I've already wrote it down. I'll amend this document. Last year, the Blitz was considered a world championship for the first time. I did not. That is not clear on there, but that should say world championship in Blitz. So note that correction will be added to the document. That was won by Matteo Bernini. Highest youth was Davide Gemma of Italy. Highest woman, Nadia Chizevska. Were recognized. So they were our World Blitz champions in those categories. Continue to scroll down. We also have a season-long point series in the World Cup standings. So here are our top 3 winners. There's also the final standings I put on the board over there. It's kind of very small print because there's a lot of entries. We'll award these people at the awards this week. But Jack Francis won the men's title, and Nadia Chizevska won the women's title for the 2024 World Cup Series. So just looking ahead, what's to come. So we're obviously playing 2025 World Qualifier Women Youth and Blitz World Championships this week. Got some tight competition. Not sure who's going to win any of these, but so looking at the calendar for next year, we have 2 world title matches to work on. There'll be the winner of this year's World Qualifier will have right to challenge Matteo Bernini of Italy. And we also did have a qualifier as part of the Checkers Festival in Vital, Texas for 11-man ballot, which is a format we don't see every 1 or 2 years. But Crispin Odhiambo of Kenya won that, so he'll be challenging Alex Moiseyev. And that's tentatively scheduled for November 2026 in North Carolina. And we also have weekly online tournaments. Iqbal Ahmed, Kenya has a tournament, and Iqbal also has a World Cup online tournament. So that's what's on our checker section calendar with one correction noted. So. Oh, Nadia.
Just one more question. We have here information about that for next year, to some tournaments, but I want that here also will be information about before what date should be bids from countries.
Yes.
And that's very important to have these bids more earlier than later.
Right.
Because, for example, for Ukrainian Federation,
Right.
it's important to have a calendar in this year. Actually, it forms in December and maybe in the middle of December. But we have no information before what date the bids from countries should be.
Okay. So in our bylaws, this hasn't changed. This was going to come later in the agenda, but it's December 1st, the bid for the qualifier.
Yeah, but you tell it here. I mean that this information should be on the website of WCDF, on the web page of groups in the Facebook.
Yes.
Because every country should know that they have time limit.
Right, okay. Okay, that's
There's a close-off date, there's an end date for the bid. If you bid it first, you have up to a certain time to.
Before the 1st of December, the country should say that they want to have this tournament by this country. No, normally.
Yeah.
No, it's very wishable because in this case there will be enough time to prepare everything.
Yeah.
Because any championship needs preparation. It's a long story. It's not a one day.
Yeah.
Someone submitted a question online. Maybe I should read that. Again, we are live streaming. There's just someone. There was a question submitted online about. I lost this one. Okay. There's a suggestion that organizing a national open, a blitz, and a rapid in the main world qualifier, similar to what Germany did last year. I mean, it's an okay idea if the host federation wants to do some extra events and make a festival. It's not required, but it is nice to have an opportunity to have some other events back to back. And but I'm fine with the idea. It's just it may go a little above and beyond the requirements, but it was kind of fun to have the German Open and the qualifier back to back. So I thought that was a good idea. Once in a while that happens. I think 1 year we had a Welsh Open back to back with the qualifier. So. So just to wrap up the sections report, I agree with what you're saying, Nadia, we could do better about
We
announcing
have
the
to start
bids.
this information company.
Right. Okay. So next on the agenda is the treasurer's report. So this came from William Doherty, you can make it this week. Share this. He sent 2 pages of comments back in June, just a summary of the funds as they stood in June. Along with an update, so this report's in your paperwork for those in attendance. So I'll just quickly summarize some of the main points. So we currently have 7 funds held by WCDF. There was one that went away, the Keystone Fund was closed by the fund managers. We moved it into one of these other funds. So the current value of the 7 funds as of this writing of June was about 90,000 pounds. And most of these funds were doing quite well. You mentioned 5.7% return without being too speculative. There were 2 funds that, I think later on he says, 2 funds were not doing so well, so he's currently working on a solution to fix those funds. But that may take some time, they're a little complicated. But that's, you mentioned the Aberdeen and the Shore were 2 funds not doing too well because they're not keeping up with inflation. So he mentions he has some plans to redo those. So, and then in October, he also paid out 4,400 pounds to support this week's tournaments. So that was the highlights of the treasurer's report. And the last report on the agenda is the president's report. So I have like a 1-page letter I'll just read off to you. So President's report for 2025. First, I express my gratitude to Carlo Bordini, Matteo Santarosa for helping to do the early stage planning for this week's championships. And I think the recurring referee team, she was helping a lot this week, and Horace and Vladimir. So a lot of months of planning, coordinating with the federations to help make this week possible. I also note this is Italy's second WCDF event of this year because they hosted a world title match back in June. I also recognize the work of Watson Franks and his city of Iowa, Texas, who staged a checkers festival of events last summer. That included an international team match, USA-South Africa, a U.S. Open Blitz, and an 11-man ballot. And I, again, recognize those who are coordinating our online tournaments. We have 4 weekly Solarzite tournaments. Kenya has added a tournament, and Jake Evans has a checker league session in progress. Now to other topics, I'm well aware there are a number of topics within WCDF that need updating. The bylaws document, this was pointed out earlier, definitely needs some updates to get all these General Assembly resolutions public. We also need to update the checker rules documents. We need to enhance referee training, and we need stronger match contracts to help avoid repeating controversial incidents that have happened in recent years. So I will strive to participate in these improvements over the upcoming off season. On the plus side, one issue is at least turned around is the WCF ratings is making improved progress thanks to the work of Dennis Pollock, currently in Thailand. One other concern that's happened for me, at least within American Checker Federation, we've seen some of our long-standing weekend tournaments fade away due to diminishing attendance. And Alex Moiseyev, Kim Willis, and I have tried to brainstorm to find ways to improve tournament attendance. Some of the ideas we discussed include, improved tournament advertisements, additional funding going towards the tournament expenses to help those organizing, encouraging attendees to invite a friend, and just finding ways to introduce our grand old game to the public to help advertise our game. So it could be staging an exhibition format, or offering to host a library program. There may be a local festival, or we have some people doing YouTube channels. So Kim Willis, this past year, she's been teaching 50 Amish youth, just trying to introduce the game to young people. And I'm working with a team player who wants to start a local checker club in Ohio. So these are just examples I mentioned, and I hope it inspires others to help promote our game in ways that fit their skill sets. So lastly, I recognize some of our WCDF executive members. William Doherty and Nadia Chizevska have certainly provided valuable input to me through the past year on several matters. Our secretary, Alex Moiseyev, who may still be on his way, he has played an active role in various matches and tournaments, and getting our plans, our budgets, and our documents finalized. And he's doing this all while he's trying to launch this new checker book. So thank you to all those. So that would conclude the president's report. So. Just return to the agenda. So I added a new topic upon request, and I touched on it a little bit in my report. That's rules and referee training. So I wanted to just talk about, give a little background on what's going on there, what challenges we're going to be working on. As far as the reason I put rules on there is back in, this was over a decade ago, Hugh Devlin, who was then president of WCDF, got together with the committee, and we created this rules document that's from 2012. And this was back in an era when a lot of the rules are in here or have not kept up with the times. This was back in an era where we had analog clocks, or we had maybe digital clocks that didn't have the increment time where it adds back by 20 seconds. And a lot of the rules reflected that language back in the day. We're still talking about 30 moves per hour for the first hour, and this is very kind of old school rules. And then we also had situations back when there was no time added to your clock, where some people were trying to play out a meaningless position just to try and run the other person out of time. That didn't seem very fair, so we have to get rules in here about that. So the reason why this is on the agenda is there are updates that we'd like to implement for some of these outdated procedures and get them in line with the way we currently do tournaments. And similarly, I think there's, the bylaws document needs a lot of updates. I'm really going to try and get that updated in the coming weeks here. Last thing, so referee training is, so the background behind this is we've had world title checker matches probably go on for 170 years or so. Many of these matches went on without issue. Often these matches have a match referee present. There's often a ceremonial role, but however, in the past 5 years, we've had 2 world title matches with some very significant unforeseen problems, and we also had some issues with the world qualifier last year. So just even more specific, last year we had a situation where the world champion had this family emergency happen with a couple family members, just when he was supposed to show up on time to play a match. And the other person wanted to play the match because he showed up on time, and it's like, what do you do? It's kind of one of the situations that have clear guidance in the contract, and then there's some nuances in the contract that were a little tricky, so I've received some feedback about referee training for both William and Nadia, and they have some good ideas in here. But these need to be hashed out and get something a little more, passed to the WCDF exec. But some of these ideas are just, better preparation, like having a WCDF member meet with the selecting match referee before the match, just to try and go over the contract in a little more detail and kind of go over some problems, some scenarios, some more things like that. We've also had some spectator issues in recent years, and it seems like having spectators in a room is just something that we seem to be discouraging now, because they can be great noise problems, and it can bring in issues of cheating and signals and like that. So those are some things we're looking at, and this includes referee training for who's running our world qualifiers and women youth championships. So these are things that's just our to-do list to mention. I don't know if there's any additional comments, but just want to share kind of what we want to work on in the coming year, and kind of get things up to speed. So we try to reduce these problems we've been having in recent years. So. All right, so next on the agenda we have just a review of the resolutions that were made in the previous year by the WCDF exec. Scroll down. So just a review of what was proposed. So in December, we had a proposal that Italy staged the 2025 Goji Please World Qualifier Women's Championship and Youth Championship. I guess that should have Blitz in there too. Then second resolution was three-move world title match between Sergio Scarpetta, Malachi Namakela be held in Foggia, Italy, in June 13th through 22nd. Next one in June, as proposed by Doherty, we touched on this earlier, that the closed Keystone Fund, that we take those funds and transfer it to an HHI fund. There's about £5,400 in that account, so that's been done. These next two resolutions were complicated. This goes back to this world title match we had in June, where we had just an unexpected delay to the match, and kind of didn't know what to do. So Carlo Bordini proposed just a immediate emergency delay, that we delay the match until we figure out a plan of how to move forward with the absence of the match schedule, which is very tight. And then the corollary to that resolution was done after much discussion, is that WCDF there were a number of issues with this match. We had a technicality that an opening wasn't followed correctly, and then we had to review that. We had to adjust the current match score and the match schedule to get things done on time. And then again, we had an issue with one player had some family emergencies, and there's some personal conduct issues going on with his tensions and emotions rose. So in your packet, there's a WCDF statement that was prepared to address all these issues, and then that was published online to do that. So those were the resolutions passed during the year. These are usually brought forward to the General Assembly to kind of ratify. These things really happened in the past. So do we have can someone make a motion to accept resolutions, or are there any other comments first?
What was the WCDF follow-up to the reports that were made regarding the world title match? Other than
statement.
postponed the match
Yes,
and then restarted, but,
right.
that there was a report made on the behavioural issues. And, I've never seen any follow-up to that, or heard
Okay.
anything to that.
There was was there, I mean, we did have some WCF discussion about the player conduct issues. Because there was some accusation from the challenger, I don't know if that's what you're referring to or something else.
I'm referring to that, and I'm also referring to the verbal abuse that the referee received at
Okay,
that match.
okay. Which,
I mean, we really have to be open and honest here, because it was a family emergency. But as soon as we decided to start the match, the family emergency ceased, and the world champion left the hospital and came to the playing venue. So that raises the question as to how genuine the emergency is, or was. And after he arrived, the verbal abuse that I faced,
yes.
the threatening behaviour that I faced, his nose at one time nearly touched my nose, you know. It was a sustained attack
Yes.
that really cannot ever be allowed to be repeated.
Right.
I still don't know how he didn't forfeit those games.
And that is another issue. I really can't believe that the WCDF then decided to break a contract rule to use the break day, which was an official break day, to play the matches and remove the fact that I'd drawn a ballot and started the clock. Because I was with the challenger all the time, so he had no advantage from knowing what opening had been drawn. The only person who could have benefited was the world champion, who could have been analysing the next side of the game, because the game was streamed. He knew what colour he was going to get in the second game. And I really do believe that the WCDF made a grave error in their decision making.
I agree.
And I do think that needs to be addressed.
Well, add that to the agenda, or the minutes.
I don't even know if the world champion made an official apology to the challenger.
I'm not aware of one, I'm not sure.
Of course he didn't. It was all about him.
We sat down at a meeting where I had to give the WCDF verdict to both players,
Right.
and I told them that they had to move forward and there was to be no more behaviour,
Right.
you know, but it was a terrible position to be put in,
Oh, yeah, I understand.
and
Yeah.
And I feel the way the voting went, you know, really, the WCDF didn't fully support the referee, actually. All I did was draw a ballot that didn't affect anything,
Right.
other than give the world champion an advantage.
That didn't change the fact he didn't make it. Still would have lost
Yeah,
that
but it was
game.
in the contract, he was supposed to be present for the ballot draw, and that was his issue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say in the
but it was-
future,
but
there
it
just
was
shouldn't be a
all-
ballot draw, the clock should still start though.
It was also in the contract that there was a break day, and there was no break day, because we played during the break day. So the WCDF broke their own contract to try and correct a minor mistake by the referee. I admit I made a mistake,
Okay.
but bear in mind that I was only presented with the written contract 3 minutes before I was asked to make a speech at the opening video live stream. I never saw the written document, I only signed it during the live stream. I was given the document by Sergio Scarpetta late at night, the previous night, on WhatsApp. And I don't know whether for this meeting or not, but suddenly, a few days ago, I was contacted to ask if I had the fully signed contract, because seemingly nobody else had it, which shows a lack of coordination. But luckily I had a copy and I sent it on. But I feel that the WCDF has now walked away from the issue and is swept under the carpet.
We did have some continued discussions, like Malachi had some accusations, and we reviewed those, after the match. And I think you were interviewed, and I got a statement from Sergio, we didn't, I think, but what drew me back was the statement that's in the bottom of the WCF report. It just, we already issued some strong language about negative behavior towards the referee, the challenger, a negative atmosphere. We recognized all that, and that would not be tolerated by the remainder of the match. But I'm not aware of anything further that happened from Sergio. Because it said it had continued, then we would cross the bridge into sanctions. But since nothing happened and we didn't really have any evidence of any kind of.
So you can always act up one time?
Well, I think that's how we voted to handle this particular case.
Fair enough.
But then some more accusations came in from the challenger that we had to review, things that were said, kind of they crossed the line. But I don't know, it's one of these things, it's like, well, who do you trust, who's the story? We didn't really have any witnesses to do it, so we did have these discussions. I think everything circled back to this statement that, we already issued a strong language, the reprimand against Mr. Scarpetta. But since it did not seem to be continued, by our own statement, we said sanctions would only happen if discontinued, and that didn't seem to happen.
All right.
And we couldn't really verify these other accusations. I don't know if they're true or not. We were sympathetic to what Malachi went through. I don't know, that's about all I can say about it.
All right.
It is not ugly legal, I get it.
So, will there be any disciplinary action by the WCDF towards the players that behave badly?
No, I just got to talk.
I just said, our statement said if this behavior continued during the rest of the match, it would be sanctions, but it didn't continue. So apparently you got the message.
If I can say something,
Oh, yeah, please, Carl.
as maybe you know or not, as a part of the Italian players, I didn't vote about that but I think that is useful that you know some premises. The match could not, hadn't held if Sergio Scarpetta and his team didn't gather the money, because as you know, he's the challenger that have to do a proposal. But for his feeling of sportsmanship, Sergio found the money and did all his best to organize the match in Italy, despite, as you know, if the challenge doesn't propose anything, the defender maintain his title. After that, Sergio had a problem about the period of the match, because he had loads of matter with his mother and his brother. But to go towards Melikaya, he moved 2 times the dates of the match, because Melikaya, together with Moseyev, had organized that Melikaya went in US and then by the money of the reimbursement of the match, Melikaya could have paid the flight from Italy, and from Italy to US, there is vice versa, from US to Italy, and then in his country, that also was most expensive. All this to go towards Melikaya. The first day of play, Sergio, I think that he just slept 1 hour in the night because of matter with his mother and his brother, and he lost the first match. In the second day, during the night, his mother was so heavy with the healthy that the doctor told us that without that recovery, she surely died. After all this, Sergio was scared for his mother. He not even wanted to think to the match, and only after the pressing of Luca Iacovelli and Alessandro Sollazzo, he was able to come back, because his mother stayed not in Foggia, where the match was played, but in Cerignola, the hometown of Sergio. But to go towards Melikaya, the venue of the match was in Foggia. And Sergio all day go and back, went and back from Cerignola. That night his mother was completely over, and he came later. After all this, the availability of Sergio, that if you know, he was always polite and fine. Also last time in US, he had a problem with his mother. He lost all the money also to come back quickly in Italy without saying anything. But when you think that you organize something that was not duty, you find the money that was not duty, for your feeling, the sense of the sport, you did everything of that. But in the first time that you have a really heavy situation, your opponent said, sorry, for me it's time to push on the clock. So I want that all of you for one moment think the emotional situation of Sergio after all of this. the status of Sergio, the feeling of Sergio was I did everything to help you to come here, to go there, to trade the money, to help you to have the match. I didn't say anything after one night long without sleeping, and now in the first time with my mother in the hospital, you say it's time of the clock, and you take the win or the match. Sergio told me that he used one strong word without against Melikaya. You are cynical. That is for me not something, especially in Italy, that it means that you take your right without see anything in front of you. But I think that is not an offense. And Melikaya felt that as an offense. And the referee was in trouble because, as I asked, the rules and regulation of the match didn't provide something so strange during a match, but maybe for the future is useful to put into the match. And everything maybe is heavy or not, but I think that is useful to take all the picture, not only of that only situation. After that, all of us asked Sergio to stay calm. Indeed, no, he didn't replace that behavior. That was no good, but anyway, if we don't consider all the picture, it's easy to condemn somebody because of some behavior in an emotional status, not easy for all these situations. So just I felt a duty to explain all these things. All of you, I think, you met and know Sergio, that is a good guy, and so that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Oliver?
I would like to respond as well and give you a correct lead up to what happened that morning. Well, I can't remember what time we were starting the match, but about half an hour before the match was due to start, Luca, who had contacted me looking for a referee, took a call. It was apparently from Sergio. He was in the hospital. So Luca was trying to translate to me what was happening. I was fully aware that his mother was seriously ill in hospital. I relayed that then to Melikaya. Meanwhile, the conversation is still going on between Luca and Sergio. And they've been gone for some time because we didn't start the clock until more than half an hour later than we should have done. And Luca's words to me, which I take to be a translation, was, you can either start the clock or you can play or not play. That was the option. It wasn't a request for a delay. It was, you can play or not play. I went to Melikaya. I explained again how seriously ill his mother was, Sergio's mother, but Melikaya requested to play. And as referee, I agreed to go along with that. My only error was that I drew a ballot. It had no effect whatsoever on the outcome of the match. And I started the clock. Now Luca, unbeknown to me, because Sergio was in the hospital, bear in mind, not paying attention to the live stream, because his mother was seriously ill, knew that the clock was started and immediately left the hospital. This is the mother that's seriously ill, that may die, okay? And he travelled, took 1 hour to get to Roger, to go to the mountain. More or less as the first game finished. So you tell me now how seriously ill and close to death his mother was. Because if it was my mother, I would have forfeited the 2 games and come to the match in the afternoon if necessary. So we have to bring a complete perspective to this. That's all I'm going to say. I made one little error, and then to correct the little error, we got rid of another rule in the contract. Crazy. Because I broke one rule, we do away with the other rule.
Gentlemen, just a 2 words. I will try to keep calm, but I'm not sure. Sorry. So what I already heard just now, that a decision of playing or not playing was made by actually by player, not by referee. Referee give this choice to player. For me, it's impossible, absolutely, because if we have a written appeal to the referee, and as I understand, we have this appeal, so the referee decides, not the player. The referee can make some questions to WCDF, okay, but decides the referee and only referee of the match, because they have this power. If the referee have no power to decide, they have conversation. They should have conversation with WCDF. But the other player can't decide this at all. It's absolutely impossible. And we cannot evaluate how health or not health is mother of Sergio. But the situation is force majeure, and we have to understand if this situation already happened, we work with this situation. It was written, and mother is in the hospital, so it's enough danger for health, for me. Because nobody wants to the hospital for excursion. It's absolutely. And that's for me. We already have this situation, we already have some decisions in these situations, but we have to avoid this situation in the future. And that's why I'm talking about that we should have clear, absolutely clear, and maximally full rules and regulations, not just to take forwards and then don't to go backwards. We have to make also ethic norms and norms of behavior for the players and for the referees. Some instruction how to do in many cases, so much as we can describe. And also we should have for referee this power to decide to stop the match if already know this power. I'm surprised that there is no. For me, a referee can decide this. It's absolutely alone, without players, without anyone. Just in contact with WCDF, possibly in contact with organizers, but it's a decision of main referee of some event. And also, it's one more discussion about not just about the updated rules, but also about the referees trainings, referees attestation, and only referees who already has this training, who already attested with some questions, with some situations, how to do, and this referee should answer this situation, and if his answers is according to the updated big rules, then this referee will have some point that he can be referee on the serious tournaments. Because another way, match, okay, for me, match, as a referee, I understand that this match should be stopped when this written appeal comes. But okay, it's a difficult situation for checkers. But all that I saw in the format, it's absolutely impossible for normal referee. And we have this referee not the first time. How can it be possible after, if I know after the last time, I mean, I'm talking about Ingo Zappos here. Ingo Zappos was the referee in Italy, in Roma, if I'm not missing something. And I know that it's also some problems with this referee. And now we have the referee who, during the tournament, during the for the week, I asked them to put regulations on the board to be visible for someone, for all people, for all players. And during all this week, there was no regulations on the board. After this, we had awarding ceremony, and in the ceremony was awarded player who didn't has this title according to the regulations. So the referee imagined some title and gives this title in the awarding ceremony of World Championship. How can it be possible? We have to make competitions professionally. That's why we need these trainings. We need clear and updated and with maximal situations, rules and regulations, with ethics, with behavior, with sanctions if it's not okay. And after this training, after these rules, the referee should have attestation after attestation on the attested person can be referee for these big events. It's not so much work. Just we have to work normal. We have to work professional.
Can I make a slight response here? Sergio's appeal was against me drawing the ballot. There was no written appeal to me, as far as I'm aware, starting the clock. Sergio's words when he came in was that he lost that first game. I also didn't make that Melakaya did not make the decision to play. I asked him, would he postpone? He said he wanted to play. Bear in mind, Sergio's translation by Luca was, you can play or not play. There was no appeal or anything to cancel the match, postpone the match, or anything. The appeal that came to the WCDF, as far as I'm aware, is that I broke the clause on drawing the ballot. Then there was a bit of a meeting, there was no play done till the afternoon, and we played the afternoon games. And then Sergio's behaviour during the games was intolerable. Some of it, I believe, caught on live stream. And I sent a letter then to the WCDF saying that the WCDF now need to step in and sort this, resolve it. So, as far as I'm aware, there was no written appeal to postpone the match. So let's get that one out of the way. right?
Donald, then I talked with Sergio later, we come in that moment that he was just got in the hospital. His meaning was yes or no, to do whatever you want. I have not the head to think about that. And so yes or not was about that. He hoped that the feeling, the good sense of referee and challenger was to understand that he was shocked and to say, okay, we can wait and see what will happen. But after that, this kind of reaction from referee and challenger didn't happen. The feeling of Sergio turned into another feeling. Oh, they didn't want to understand that I'm shocked, I'm confused, I am not here to this, that. I have left my mother in the hospital to come back and to not to have lost the other games. So in that moment, the feeling of Sergio was against everybody. The referee that didn't feel the duty to say stop, the challenger that asked to apply the contact with the date. So in that moment, the reaction was, okay, you challenger asked to apply the rules, okay. The rules was broken because of the ballot, and so in the same times I say that that kind of rules was broken, and he did his appeal against that. But it was not something against you or against the other player, but something because he didn't feel understanding of what he was living in that moment. So, okay.
Are we aware that Malachi lost his father a few days before the match started?
Yes, but not during the match.
But no, not during the match,
Okay.
but he was still grieving the same thing. And there was no consideration about that given to Malachi when Sergio came into the room shouting, nose to nose, pointing, nearly took my eye
Donald,
out.
the date was that one that Melikaya asked, moving the original period that Sergio proposed. And Sergio had no duty to move.
I would like to ask you as well, why did Sergio not contact me as referee direct?
Because he had the matter with his mother and his
No,
brother.
he contacted Luca.
Yeah, Luca.
The referee is supposed to be the official. You don't contact Joe Blogs or
Because Luca was the organizer, together with Alessandro, the organizer of the match.
that may well be, but still, Sergio speaks decent English. I would have understood better. I was listening to Luca interpreting
Yes,
for me.
but also Luca was shocked for what was happened. You have to consider that
I think you're laying too much on the shock
Yeah.
because as we've already said, Sergio left the hospital. The shock wasn't so very bad.
yes,
And
because
I know that sounds hard-hearted, but we've got to take this
Yes,
down to
because,
basics and because
the doctor in the hospital told him now it's useless that you stay here. His mother was in intensive therapy. Nobody can stay with his mother except for the medical assistant. But in this first hour, in the morning, Sergio didn't have any information about his mother.
Well, this is what I'm saying, still, it doesn't matter what shock he was in, he could have made a communication with me as the official referee.
I think that when you are shocked, maybe you can make a mistake because in that moment you are not you, not before because reason.
So the match got changed because Sergio was in shock and no allowance for me making a ballot. The competition, the match was decided on that 2 games.
Donald, when you send a protest, you see the weakness of that situation. And so that kind of situation with the ballot was a weakness. And so he sent that, he thought that. But I don't want to go over with
It just feels that the long decisions were drawn by the WCDF and there's been no further address to it.
Nadia, move on.
Gentlemen, actually, what we are talking about, I am not agree that it's a force majeure situation. It's a force majeure, are you agree? Yeah, if it's force majeure, in this case, we have to include this force majeure in other force majeure, possible force majeure situation, and also other situations which not described as a force majeure in rules, in regulations, in contracts, in any documents which is touching some event and applied in WCDF, because it's it's a hole in the rules. And we have to update rules, and we have to study and to make trainings for referees how to do in the case of force majeure. And that's all that we can take from this situation. Because decisions is already decided.
Yeah.
And now we have to avoid situation in the future. How to avoid, make normal rules, close this hole, and give more rights and more obligations to the referee, and of course trainings and attestation. That's all I see.
Yeah.
Janelle, did you have a
That
comment?
is exactly what I wanted to ask, to say what Nadia said, and I want to know, do you have clear-cut rules if something like this occur? Again, do you have that?
Well, that's what we want to fix, because and William Dockert even proposed a number of rules that we need to hash out and implement, but he has things in here.
But
Kevin,
I was in Missouri, and I remember Sergio's mom was ill,
oh, yeah,
and he
I was
had
there
to
too.
leave
yeah.
also.
right.
So now it has happened now in a world title match. You know, you have to show emotions for both players. You know, both of them had persons that were ill. We have to consider both players. So the decision with the WCDF should, you know, we shouldn't even look at the referee, because he's in a situation with both players. You know, he don't know what to do in this situation. A meeting should have been held and said, look, can we just cancel this and put another date for both players to come back to the table? And if both players cannot make this date, can we have another date? If not, make a decision. Are we going to keep the title, lose the title? What are we doing here? So, do you have clear-cut rules going forward?
Sounds like they're working on it.
You understand me? Because if you have to have is there a rematch for Melakaya and Sergio? There's a rematch? Are you having a rematch to play again?
It's not scheduled to do that.
But it's going to happen again.
They completed it.
No.
It's completed?
That's why I'm talking about updating rules.
If I'd had an official request to postpone the match, I would have postponed it. I would not have gone to Melakaya and said,
That's my
You
question.
know, I
If
would
it can
say,
be
we'll
postponed.
postpone the morning
Part of the
session.
problem is he had to fly to Texas at the end of the day after the match to do the international match, so that's why we had to cut out 2 games, which is unusual.
So
That's why I don't
Sergio
play
retained
30
his title,
Yes,
and does he play Malakaya or no? That's done.
it's done.
That's done. Oh, okay.
Because the game that the referee gave lost for the time was considered to cancel because of the force majeure has not played.
So did they play the
So
amount?
they take into consideration all the games really played,
All the games were played?
Yeah.
Okay.
but not that one that was given as a loss because of the absence for force majeure.
Okay. But he regains his title.
Yeah.
Okay. So which means, and how is his mom? How is Sergio's mom?
The Sergio's mom is still heavy. Indeed, you don't see Sergio here
Okay.
because he cannot move from Cerignola because he has 2 problems. The mother and also the brother. The brother also has lots of problem of health. Indeed, the first night, Sergio was outside to search his brother and did sleep and lost 1 game because he didn't have the time to sleep.
Yeah. I'm
But
very sorry to hear
yes.
that. But the issue still happens. Your Sergio mom and brother is still ill.
yeah.
And Sergio has the title. What do we do here? Because someone else has to challenge Sergio, right?
Not for 2 years, but they could come up again, sure.
And something
that's
can
why-
happen again similar to that effect, right?
We need better rules.
And that's
Yeah.
why
We need better
want to
rules.
referee more power.
Yeah.
We have 2 years, Richard.
Yeah.
We have 2 years,
Yes.
you know,
2 years.
And
Indeed,
we can't-
the request is to improve
to
the
work on
rules.
it. We have
To
2
improve
years
the
to work
rules.
on it.
Not 2 years.
And also to give the power.
Adopt chess
And
rules.
Sergio has 2 years to help his family with great health.
No, it's impossible.
Okay,
Just feel in this
oh,
way.
I guess Billy does have a comment.
I have another point. I think the referees, to become a referee. So I like Nadia's idea, to clear training and that stuff. But what's the motivation for referee? Because it's a lot of stress, I think, and this is amateur sport. So from my perspective, unfortunately, it's someone sacrifices himself to be referee, and but I don't know if we even have money, for example, to motivate people to become referees. But I think this is big topic, that we need to for example, everywhere I see it. I think in Italy, for example, you have professional referees,
Right.
there are many tournaments.
I agree, yeah, but my concern is that we have
We are trying
qualified
also
referees also.
to improve the number.
Yeah.
For example, not only Rashid but also Loris that will come again together. Is referee for Italian Dama international draft, and he is working to become also checkers referee. So to have not only him but also Ezio Valentini, Stefano Iacono, to improve the number of the Italian referee also for checkers.
But the little problem is that there's only normally there's only the accommodation that's paid for the referee. So I see this a big challenge for the future of the game.
To be absolutely fair to the Italians, and especially Foggia Drafts Federation Association, I felt quite well rebuffed for refereeing. They put me up in a hotel, they paid all my food. They gave me some expenses, they paid my flights, they paid my train fare. I think that there's definitely motivation to be the world
referee.
title match referee
Oh.
if all future matches are organised by such a well-run organisation.
Okay.
I didn't know that, that's cool.
You want to be a referee?
We need that in the US.
So I would like, it's an honour to referee the match as well.
I would like to add something.
Okay, Igor, yeah, just.
Last, I also involved in this story because it was possible that I too could be the referee, because I challenged with Danny in this place to be referee. Now I can say, but I'm happy that he took his place, and I'm happy that I'm not on the place of Danny. If I were on the place of Milikai, I would refuse for this win. If I was okay, if referee started clock, I see situation. I said I don't need such wins. And if I were on the place of Sergio, yeah, I would accept all my losses, because it's not so important as his mom. So I would like to say that's all what I wanted to say.
The big motivational question is again, would I referee another match? And I think that I would, despite the troubles. It was nice to sit and watch two masters play the game.
Okay, all right, thank you. I think on that note, I would just like to bring us back to, I appreciate all your comments, and some good discussion. We were just simply reviewing resolutions that have been handled in the past to be ratified by the General Assembly. I guess it's, I will note, Don, I will add your objections to the minutes. But with that added, do I have a motion to accept all the resolutions by delegates here? Okay, Eric, second. Okay, all in favor? And opposed? Okay, that carries, thank you. Let's see. Okay, we do have one new proposal. Well, how do this is, I have to explain this one. So we have one proposal from Alex Moiseyev at the bottom of the screen. That's to raise the WCDF annual membership fees from $100 to €150. And yes, you may be asking, did we already vote on this last year? And you're correct, we did. Wanted to bring it up again. So just a little backstory on my thoughts. So ever since WCDF started, like 21 years ago, it's been $100. There's been no inflationary increase. In recent years, we have even put all the affiliations into the prize fund, so it would help the prize fund a little bit. Now, the concern that was raised last year is even $100 is a lot for certain federations to afford, and I think that's a legitimate concern for certain federations as well. So, but anyway, that's the proposal. So, does anyone from the floor have any particular comments they wish to add about the proposal?
I'm for it.
Okay. Well, we'll vote on it in a moment. I'll just say the other. Philippe?
Like, I think here with Igor we have the same thoughts. That
Yes.
we are the only players from our countries, and we need to pay for accommodation and traveling,
Right.
and this fee. So yeah, will be against.
Doesn't save the situation.
Yeah.
Because it's 100 is too little and 150 changed nothing for WCDF. But for us it's changed something.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why I'm against this.
Okay, fair enough.
Only why. That's why.
Richard, if I can, maybe we can introduce a little fee for the World Championship. Also to avoid that somebody before say that okay, I will participate and then not to increase the little substance of financial situation of the WCDF, maybe a little part that goes to the WCDF taken from the fee of the World Championship, maybe for the future to help. Also 10 or 50 euros for all the participants that go in favor of the WCDF to try to balance the difference of the rise of the membership fee.
Okay. Who would pay this fee? I'm trying to understand. The federations or the players?
Yes, we also we used to have this both for the European and World Championship of draft, but also in Italy, because not only something about the money, but also to assure that who send the application, who want to participate, and you know in time if they want or not. To avoid to discover in the morning of Monday who will come and who not, for example.
Okay. All right, any other comments?
Just one observation, because the increase is somewhere close to 70% increase in the cost from where you were before. It's a bit excessive. I mean, I don't think anybody.
There's been no increase for almost 20 years. Too.
Right,
It is a big jump though.
Yeah, it's a very big jump.
And that's why I propose, because during the World Championship, maybe people pay more than 1,000 euros for travel and accommodation, and 10 or 50 euros do any difference in that case. Is it for a federation, not Italian federation, but for other the 50% more is too much.
It's not 50% because it's a change from dollars to euros.
Right.
It's only about 140.
It's more than for the 50%.
No, it's
It's more than 50%. It's
Yes.
170 or so.
Yeah.
Yes, Junior.
How does the WCDF raise funds? How do you raise funds?
It's basically, we have these legacy funds that there's in the treasurer's reports that draw interest.
Yeah.
So that's the only way?
That's primarily, yes. I mean, we used to collect affiliations and bank them, now we,
Yeah.
like say for a rainy day, we have a project, we have a website expenses and things like that, but we don't have a lot of expenses.
So you don't reach out to companies to ask for sponsorship?
No. The money of WCDF, for example, this year we have had something like 4,900 euros from fund of WCDC, after other 60 or 7 or 6 or 700 of euros from the annual fee, and in this tournament and the championship, so about 5,700 came from the WCDF, and the other 1,004 or 500 for the feed. So all the money of the WCDF went go used for the championship.
But I suggest that you reach out to some companies, ask them for sponsorship. Just yes or no.
They've been trying for a long time.
Yeah,
There's just not
That's
enough
true.
people.
that's
It's
true.
not profitable for any business.
Nadia,
We need an app.
About the increase in fee, I'm absolutely against, but about the participation fees, we already have participation fee in Blitz here, in Blitz
Right.
Championship. And actually, it's possible to do this in classic program also.
Okay, in some years we do have a participation.
Yeah, what I miss in rules and regulations, it's a date of registration.
Yeah.
Because normally in all other kind of drafts we have date of registration. For example, for 1 or 2 months before the start of tournament, it doesn't obligate someone to participate in 100%, but it's it's a wish of participants. Because now we're coming here and you as a referee, you don't know who will come.
Right.
So it's not normal situation.
No.
Organizers also don't know how many players, how much big or small can be the playing room, and how much cameras, for example, they need for translation. And so it's all important. That's why I asked many times Alex Moiseev, but possibly he didn't hear me.
Okay.
And we need, in the rules and regulations, we need to be clear about the date for end date for registration.
Yeah.
And this registration should be when you're talking about the country. So this registration should be one confirmation form from the country. Not from me as a player, and Anastasia as a player, Tatiana as a player, anybody other as a player. It's not for players. For me, I can ask to register me as a world champion. Okay, but for example, for Anastasia, she has no right to some special registration. She represents Ukraine, so it should be a confirmation from Ukrainian Federation to avoid possible conflict because we have only 2 places for registration, but we have enough girls and boys who play. And the same, for example, in Italy. And the federation should confirm their players who will these 2, and maybe who will reserve players. But this wish should be for some date much before the tournament. Because it's organization needs order, and not only organization needs, but for you as a referee.
Okay, right. Trouble is a lot of these countries that they're waiting on visas until the last minute, don't know, and it complicates things. And that's why a lot of them wouldn't come here with putting their hands in it. I understand you can only do so much. Okay, was there another comment in the back? I think before we move on and vote. So just remember, voting rules, only those who are delegates or proxies for the association can vote, not spectators, although spectators can add comments. And because this membership fee increase would change statutes, it would take a 2/3 majority to pass it. So just to reread, the proposal was to raise WCDF annual membership fees from $100 to €150. And so all in favor, show of hands. So 1, 2.
In favor.
All in favor of raising to €150. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All opposed. 1, 2, 3. So that's not enough for a 2/3. Okay. So that motion failed. And let's see. Okay, so next on the agenda, I think we already touched on, is just an update on WCDF World Cup. So the World Cup winners for 2024 were the checker section report, so we'll recognize them at the award ceremony at the end of this week. So that would be Jack Francis was winner of the men, and Nadia was winner of the women, and she almost won the overall title too. Jack and her actually tied, so that's really good. And then Rolfon, you got third place this year, so you'll get a certificate at the end of the week. It was actually the same top three as the previous year, just the order switched around. On the women's side, second place Anastasia Grushko, and third place Norma Branch of Barbados. So they'll be recognized at the awards. And 2025 World Cup, we've got, it's underway. We still have 3 stages to go. So I guess we'll find out at the end of the year what happens there. So just remember that, just for background information, World Cup is just, we take several 8 or so checker events, international events, pick them out, and invite players to attend, and the top 6 receive points to a season-long race. So it's just something fun to do on the side, and help encourage people to attend other people's tournaments, and roll something playful. So next on the agenda, so General Assembly for 2026 will need to be scheduled. That usually aligns with the World Qualifier Women Youth Blitz World Championship, so we will be. So we call for bids here, but that does need to go on our website as well. So call for bids would be December 1st to hold those events. And also we'll also be asking for bids for the world title match, for the Goshi Please World title match. So there's an expression of interest at 2 months after the day of this tournament, and then they have up until early next year to get the finalized bids in place. So that'd be the bidding deadline, so we'll try and get this up on the side. So everyone can hear.
Are you talking about item 13 there?
I'm on item 13, yes.
There is a possibility that the Scottish Drafts Association may forward a proposal. It's very early stages. But if we did, it would have to be in September 2026 to coincide with the British Open.
Oh, okay.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you for considering it, and we look forward to a bid if that can happen. So this would be in Scotland, correct?
Scotland.
Yeah, okay, very good.
Yeah.
Look forward to coming back if I can.
Proper country.
Okay.
Home address.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
If someone doesn't have enough checkers, then this Sunday there is a tournament in Prague.
Yes. And that is a World Cup stage event, so if you're already here in Europe.
There's 5 in the morning and
This
Where is it?
they're in Prague, Czech Republic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful city.
2 hours plus.
Yes. City Village, Igor.
And I have new proposal but for discussing. So I would like to change the checkers. I would like to modernize the game. For example, to do. Let me think how to say it better. So I would like to change the game. So, and to do such rule. The first move, which made red, and in the second game, his partner have to do the same move. Do you understand me what I want?
Me for Goji, please.
So,
Like a mirror?
for example, if red started to play one player, he started 11-15. In the next game, his partner has to start also only first move the same. No, it's one move, but the player decides which first move will be in the second game. For example, if I do another move, 9-13, in the second game, his partner has to also to do in the same.
So it's like one move restrictions.
Yeah, but it's for discussion. It's my idea to make the game more alive, because I see so many published games. If everybody started always only one move, but it will make our game more alive. It's my opinion. It's my idea, and we can discuss it.
Igor, there is a there may be one player studying the first move 11 and 14, so each time that the red as the first player, he make the other obliged to do the same that he studied. And so I think that is good that also the opponent can choose with
it's my idea, yeah, to discuss. Maybe if we want to more life in our game, it brings it. I'm sure. But we can discuss.
Okay.
But in this case, decide itself. The player who made red in the first game is not
Yeah, it's
you apply to the
decide.
Maybe goes the first
Anyway, whatever who decide, but the girl who plays toss will decide for 2 games. It's not fair.
exactly.
Right.
Because they
Who will
play
decide who decide who?
But these okay, computer makes a decision that I play red. Okay, I decide what I like for 2 games.
Yeah.
Not you, not my opponent, but I decide.
But
it's not fair. It's not
in the
fair.
next round, your partner has the
Okay.
same.
But you play with another, not with the same.
I'm deciding for you too. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
fair.
We
We
can
already have the rule, and that's enough.
we can discuss. It's only for discussion.
You guys only run me all by.
All right. All right.
So we always play this move. But for the match, it will be especially important, because in the match, almost all games we started published play. It's very boring. It's very boring. Yeah?
Or there's
It's my idea.
an 11 man.
You can get this or
Yeah.
refuse it. It's,
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for getting on
it's
that.
idea.
Okay. So we're still only at point 13, but we're going to move to point 14. I don't know, Carlo. Did you have anything you want to share with the assembly on Europe or anything? Or
Yes, just one information that, as you know, as European Draft Confederation, together with the World Checker Draft Federation, we are thinking to organize in Italy next year in Foggia, close to Foggia, together with the match of Matteo Bernini. Also the European Championship of Checkers. The idea is to try to have every 2 years the European Championship, and next year we are working in the end of October, in October or November, to organize not only the match but also the European Championship of Checkers.
Okay, great. It'd be nice to bring that back.
Yeah.
I know last year even.
As you know, we included also William Doherty in our board with the co-opted member, and so we are trying to improve the checkers also in the European Draft Confederation.
Okay.
Not only checkers, also Draft 64 next year.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Does Italy intend to organize in Italian drums World Championship next year?
World Championship.
In Italian drums?
No. Maybe
Have you
in
idea?
Italian Draft Championship, maybe in 2028, maybe.
Okay.
But I'm not sure because it's really expensive. We spend something like 50,000 euros. It's too much. We can organize a lot of World Championship for checkers.
Okay, I want to know.
It was the centenary of the Italian Draft Federation. It was a duty to have our World Championship, but really expensive.
All right, last item on the agenda is just any other business. So this event, I guess if anyone has any general comments, I think Igor gave one already. So this isn't really the place for like detailed proposals because those really should be kind of submitted in advance. But is there anyone have any other business they'd like to just mention? These closing minutes. Oh.
Has the WCDF accepted to have a discussion at some time on Ida's proposal? Or is that a comment that's going to be ignored? Where do we stand on what Ida said?
Oh, about the one move restriction. I mean, he said he just. I mean, he wanted for discussion. I'll add it to the minutes, and maybe we can. I don't know. It seems like no. I mean, the WCF exec can discuss about it. And I don't know if he wants to get something in writing, a little more detail, or he said all he wanted to say.
It's all idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think my feeling is that, you know, we have a lot of tournament organizers out there, someone wanted to try that event or wanting to do
But
so.
in the match, it will be very up to it because they always play that. Today one day when they change the color.
Yeah.
So every second match, every second round, they change the places. So it's very actual for the match, especially.
I would add to Ida's proposal that if a competition was to be played along that lines, that each round the referee draws a ballot, a one-move ballot, that every game gets played on.
Okay.
In
It's
each
also
round.
possible.
And then that's fair because no player having black gets to decide the both
Yeah.
games. You happy with that?
Yeah.
I'm not.
The same opening every round.
It will always somebody having somebody else.
I'm sure about a one-move restriction.
Yeah. So you saying, would you say you draw one move opening every round, or it's the same opening every round?
No, I would say
No, each round.
a new ballot
Okay,
each
yeah,
round.
that's one move.
Every
Yeah.
competitor, every
I think
competitor
that's-
must play that black move.
Because that's sort of like two move.
Even in Blitz, when you even in Blitz in remove when you make a ballot, you make it not near boards that the boards is near, not playing the same ballot. Because I can see what play my, for example, neighbor if he's Alex Moiseev.
That's
And,
true. That's a good point.
That's a little bit problem.
And then go as you please, you don't have that problem?
That's why I'm against of your idea.
So are you against
I
go
can-
as you please?
In
Because all the games I've seen, which is Igor's point, is that they're all starting in the same way. So you're seeing Alec Moses play, you're seeing Eric Strange's play, you're seeing Philip Correctus play, Igor Martinez play. They're all identical. You're seeing Manel play.
But it's a difference between I wish and I should to do this. It's a big difference.
You'd also have to rely on the opponent making the same move.
The world champion will go.
Break it down somewhere.
Yeah.
Go as other
It's a go as you please. It's my wish. It's not obligatory.
What Igor was suggesting is a different form of draft. He's not proposing the
If you want obligatory rules, you
ways.
can please
He's
remove.
just saying that we could have a competition with one move restriction. It's just a difference. It's like 10 by 10, 11-man ballot.
10 by 10,
Why not have 9-man ballot? You know,
I kind of like the idea, if someone wants to organize such a tournament, you know, locally, they can. All right, any other business from anyone? Not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, Janelle, you want a second?
adjourn.
Okay.
It's not adjourned, it's end.
It's in, okay. Okay, thank you, everyone.
It's adjourned.
Yeah.
Is it?
Thank you, Richard.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you, Carlo.
Thank you to you. Tomorrow morning,
Words.
yes.
I will give you some Italian present biscuits e cantucci that are typical of Tuscany, but present from the Italian Federation. Tomorrow morning, you will find on your table a special present.
Thank you.
And if somebody like tomorrow night, together with the Italian team and also with Richard, we are going to go and having the dinner in the pizzeria, having pizza. So if somebody is interested to come with us and having a pizza tomorrow night tonight, just inform Rashid. The price is about 22-25 euros. It's depend on that you take, but a good Italian pizza if by chance you are interested to taste.
Are you saying tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night.
Oh, that's okay.